Hello, I'm Regina McCann-Hess, President of Forge Wealth Management, and welcome to our Women in Wealth series. Today we have a new friend, Abby. Can you tell us who you are, what you do, and what you love about what you do?
Hi, I am Abby Schwartz. I am the owner of Brainstorm Communications, and I provide creative services and marketing consultation to hospitals and health systems.
Wow. Okay, so you're a busy lady. I know very well that you're a very busy lady. And I know with your career, especially with the pandemic, you always have to pivot, but you had to make pivots definitely for the hospitals that you serve and the health professionals that you serve during COVID. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so as you can imagine, hospitals are on the front line of this pandemic, so they have been affected immediately and in major ways. Mm-hmm. One of the first things that occurred to me was this is not business as usual. Hospitals, to focus on COVID, had to put a pause on elective procedures. So my marketing clients were not concerned at that moment about getting out a brochure on knee replacement or marketing as usual. It was also very hands-on, all hands on deck. So a lot of my clients were also helping out in the command centers, handing out PPE to the staff, and really, like I said, it wasn't business as usual. Mm-hmm. I also recognized that, like many industries at that time, hospitals were losing millions of dollars a day. So of course, my second thought was, well, actually it was my first thought, budget cuts. Are they going to, stop working with freelancers? Am I an extra service that they don't need at this time? So that was very concerning. So you're right, I had to pivot. And what I did was I thought about where would my skills be most welcome right now? And what I did was I reached out to the public relations teams, communications teams at my hospitals, and I offered my writing support. These teams were working around the clock. They had to respond to daily inquiries from the media. Mm-hmm. They had to get out communications to their staff on new protocols and safety procedures. They had to communicate with patients and let them know what was happening with them. So there was a lot of communications that needed to happen, and I really enjoyed getting involved in that. I got to see what was happening, right up front and be involved in that messaging.
That's really cool. And like really in the middle of everything, right in the middle of it.
Yeah, but from a safe distance, which
yes.
was nice too. In healthcare, everything is changing right now, like with a lot of industries in light of the pandemic. Telemedicine is a big thing right now. Hospitals are now expanding their services again and welcoming patients back. So there's a lot of work, fortunately for me, a lot of work to be done in communicating with patients, with physicians, with the community to bring people up to speed on what changes are happening and why it's safe to come back and get the services that you need to take care of your health.
Yeah, and I know from talking to a lot of my own friends and family, they are grateful that the hospitals are open back up for those procedures. Some people have been waiting months and months for their knee replacement, their shoulder replacement, even some of their cardiac procedures that, could be, very important to their life had to be put on hold. So everyone is very happy that the hospitals are open back up again.
Yeah, absolutely. And something interesting, you mentioned, knee replacement. It's a good time to get it done because a lot of people are working from home now, so they don't need to take off the period of time from work that they ordinarily would to recover. So it's a little inside tip on that. It's good time to get it done.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, but you got to get on the schedule. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very, very good information. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
So let's go over career type stuff. Being a professional woman and also being an entrepreneur, a business owner. What are some of the challenges that you have faced as a professional woman?
Well, my biggest challenge has been trying to walk in high heels. Which I really hate, but
can't do it either.
When I was younger, certainly I had to come up against trying to balance having a young family and working and being taken seriously as a professional, and also being there, you know, for my child when she needed me. So it's one of the reasons I went into business for myself, just one of them, but I wanted that control over my time. Right. So I do have to say, I've been very fortunate over the last 20 years that I've been self-employed. I'd say 90% of the time I'm working with women. And there's a nice camaraderie there.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a marketing thing, you know, there's a lot of women in marketing. The men I've worked with have been great too, I have to say. And I really do enjoy the lifestyle of working for myself and working from home.
Yeah.
So I've been lucky.
And do you think, I can imagine it feels like it has helped you balance home life, work, family balance a little bit better than, you know, working 9 to 5 type of job?
It has. I think sometimes the big challenge is setting up boundaries. You know, I have my own office. I have a great setup. I have my space that people respect in this house. However, you know, the weekend comes around and I have to pull myself away from working sometimes because, you know, it's right there and I know I have things to do. I have to make sure I set some time aside for myself. So that's important.
And you bring up a great point, because a lot of people, myself included, have really struggled with that, because we're used to going to a physical office and we leave it and we can kind of, you know, turn work off a little bit. Working in our homes is just totally different, because there is no shut off valve, because it's, you know, for me, it's the front room, you know?
Yeah.
And you sit there all day and there's no difference. I know I listen to, I don't know what you do, like maybe when you walk into your office at your home, that's your on off switch. I know a gentleman told me he puts work shoes on, like dress shoes, when he goes into that space in his house, so that it's his click for working from home.
I think that makes sense to have those cues to do that. Having worked from home for 20 years now, I don't need that. Yeah, as soon as I come downstairs, I'm ready for work. You know, I announce to the dog in the morning, come on, it's time to go downstairs and do our work. And he comes with me. Yeah, but everybody has to find their own tricks. And I know it's challenging for people who have had to set up a makeshift workspace at home. So that's one thing where being self-employed gave me a little bit of an advantage. I did not have to adjust to that when the pandemic hit.
Yeah, and we were all calling you for advice. What do we do? That's fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic. So, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say there's another thing that I noticed about, you know, when you asked about the challenges of being a woman at work. Working in a creative profession, I have found that if you have talent, that's a big differentiator. And if you're pleasant to work with and you can do the work and you're good at it, they don't care what your gender is. You're going to get hired.
That is good.
At least in my field, that's been my experience. I mean, where it gets tricky is, you know, you need to be able to stand for yourself and ask for the money that you want. And I think this is a bit of a stereotype, but I think there's some truth to it that as women, we're a little bit uncomfortable being decisive and speaking about money, because it's kind of an icky kind of, you know.
And we were raised it was kind of a taboo subject. We were raised that way. You don't really talk about it. And there's a lot of statistics around the fact that women don't ask for the raises that they really should have, or they don't even apply for a job that's above them unless they know they have every single one of those skills and have them down pat, whereas our counterparts will maybe have half of the skills and they're like, yeah, I can do that. You know, we have to work on that as women. We really do.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot we have to unlearn, and hopefully the younger women coming up beneath us have more of a sense of what they can accomplish and are a little more fearless.
Yes.
Maybe than some of us were.
Yeah. So we definitely want to mentor them on that one for sure. How have you pivoted or changed your outlook for planning for your financial future, if anything at all?
That's a great question. So again, I'm going to come back to the fact that I'm self-employed. Mm-hmm. And as you know, my husband's self-employed as well. And the two of us have been on our own, you know, working for our companies for more than, 20 years for me, more than that for him. Mm-hmm. So from a long time ago, we've had to adopt some practices to keep us on track financially for the future. We don't have a company putting money into, a 401k or matching funds for us. It's any retirement savings come from us. So we set up IRAs and profit sharing plans. We squirrel away money, as I like to put it, each year, and whatever we can put at the end of the year into those accounts, we put in there. That involves, of course, living within our means, within reason. You enjoy life, but we've had to do that because there's no guarantee when you're self-employed that a certain amount of money is going to come in each month. Sure. We take a look at our portfolios at least 3 times a year to make sure that we're on track. We make sure that we are in it for the long game, but we also have a certain amount of cash on hand in case we have emergencies. So all of that, I think, has served us well with the pandemic. And I'm trying not to look at the numbers too closely right now and just trust that the market will come back. It'll take a little while, but we're okay, and we are balanced enough that I can trust that the system is going to work.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a lot of steps in place, a lot of planning, a lot of self-restraint, like you say, living within your budget. Those are hard things to do, especially with instant gratification type of society. It's very difficult to, stay within those guide rails, basically.
Yeah.
That definitely sounds like it has helped you tremendously through, the COVID and pandemic and global economic shutdown situation that we're in right now.
Sure. And I'm not saying we're not affected by it like everybody else. We're affected by it, but it's helped me kind of keep my eye on the big picture and not panic.
Yeah. Well, good. Congratulations. That's job well done. Job well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing all this information with us, and thank you for joining me on our show. I am so glad and so grateful that you were able to join me. So thank you.
Thank you. I enjoyed talking with you.
And thank everyone else for watching. And please continue to watch us and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Forge Wealth, and subscribe to the YouTube channel too if you're on there watching. You can also find us on our website at forgewealth.com and on LinkedIn at Regina McCann Hess. Thanks and have a great day.
Thank you.